Peace and orderliness trail People's Democratic Party World Congresses. Sport journalists and administrators turn Akwa Ibom International Stadium into Jerusalem. Governor Godswill Akpabio gives reasons for constructing Akwa Ibom International Stadium. Details of these and other stories in just a moment. Good morning and welcome to AKBC 45 News. I am Jeffrey Orok. Governor Godswill Akpabio has registered his satisfaction with the outcome of the war across the state. The governor made his mind while fielding questions from reporters after participating in the election of 3 ad hoc delegates in his work. Kana West 2. Idemasanyi has more.
The governor, who described the conduct of the exercise as peaceful, free and fair, lauded the massive turnout, explaining that he was happy that the people voted according to the dictates of their conscience. He pointed out that the free and fair election was a demonstration that democracy has taken root in the state. Chief Akpabio argued that the election of delegates for the primaries, where the preferred ad hoc delegates emerged, has proven wrong. Critics who insinuated that government had plans to hijack the delegates list for the coming primaries.
No election is worth the blood of any Akwa Ibom child. We must do everything to remain peaceful and allow the to be transparent, because we have handed this thing over to God. You would stand behind me to bring about a good successor that will continue with the uncommon transformation of our great state.
Officer for Okana West 2, Dr. Iniba Odofia, who had earlier promised free and open contest, congratulated the winners at the end of the exercise. A national officer, Mr. Abdul Ibrahim, who witnessed the World Congress, described it as a reflection of grassroots democracy. Mr. Ibrahim said the turnout demonstrates the strength of the party in the state, noting that such strength will help the fortunes of the party in the general elections.
This is what we call grassroots democracy, and this is PDP. What we have done and seen here is a manifestation of why our party is great.
Asai reporting.
Reports reaching us from other areas of it that the World Congresses were generally fair and peaceful. More reports are expected in subsequent bulletins.
A former secretary to the state government and governorship aspirants, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, commended the peaceful and orderly conduct of party faithful in the People's Democratic Party ad hoc delegate congress. Mr. Udom Emmanuel, who participated in the congress at Awa Ward 1 in an local government area, said Awa Ward 1 had set a good example, judging from the credible and transparent process witnessed during the exercise. Mr. Udom dismissed the rumor that he was denied purchase of PDP governorship nomination form, saying that he was rather one of the first aspirants from the state that bought the form. The governorship hopeful lauded the presiding and returning officers for ensuring that the exercise was conducted in line with the directive of the party, which is anchored on fairness.
So I'm really grateful that my own ward can set an example to the whole country. And now election should be conducted.
On his part, the presiding officer, Ekane Mudoka, and the returning officer, Ikpe Ezekiel, commended the party members in Awa Ward 1 for abiding by the stipulated guidelines, describing the Congress in the area as free and fair. Meanwhile, the Commissioner for Information and Communication, Mr. Nyekan Omana, has expressed satisfaction over the successful conduct of Saturday's People's Democratic Party World Congress in Abak. Speaking with newsmen shortly after observing the event, Mr. Omana, who is a native of the area, described PDP as the only party that promotes internal democracy alongside the welfare of the people. He commended the delegates for their maturity by conducting themselves peacefully throughout the exercise stressing that the action has further confirmed that the PDP is a peaceful and united party. Monitoring the exercise at Etimekpo, the Commissioner for Special Duties, Barrister Emmanuel Enoiden, described it as the most orderly, free and fair democratic elections in the area since 1999. He predicted that better days were ahead as PDP would improve the quality of their lives and urged them to remain faithful to the party and President Goodluck Jonathan.
The way you have been very peaceful and the way you have shown maturity,
in his remarks, the returning officer for Etimekpo local government area, Obon Godwin Sandi Akpan, praised the enthusiasm of the electors who have come out en masse and on time.
The Akwa Ibom International Stadium is gradually becoming a resort for sports journalists and sports administrators from within and outside the country. Recently, it played host to members of the Confederation of African Football (CAF), who inspected every section of the stadium to ensure it is in line with FIFA standards. Led by the Vice President of Ghana FA, Mr. Frederick Crensil, the team held a one-hour meeting with stakeholders behind closed doors. Top on the list of CAF team included veteran sports writer Mr. and Chief Linus Mba, who expressed satisfaction with what they saw. FA Chairman of Akwa Ibom, Chief Effiong Johnson, threw more light on the team's visit.
We have checked everything in the stadium, very especially the security aspect of it, the terracing arrangement, the media, where the media will be sitting, and the scoreboard, a lot of things. We had about 1 hour meetings inside the conference room for other inspections. Based on the consultancy replies to questions asked by the CAFMAN. It was the last place we had to visit was the generating section. The man is impressed with yes, and I think that will give approval to the state.
Similarly, members of the State Chapter of Sports Writers Association of Nigeria toured the facilities at the stadium to prepare themselves for the task of effectively covering sports. In an interaction with the Vice President of SWAN and Sports Editor of AKBC, Mr. Johnson Zudosoro, the ICT expert, Mr. Vladimir, described the equipment as state-of-the-art. The journalist in an interview expressed satisfaction with the quality of facilities in the stadium.
Something very remarkable. The government has done very well to provide this for I think it will go a long way to members to get into sport writing more.
I hope other states will
More news after the break. Stay tuned.
My challenge to the Akwa Ibom youth today is to rise up and protect the uncommon transformation. Rise up and protect the uncommon transformation. There must be sustainability. So for me as a governor, I'm charging Akwa Ibom children. The future belongs to you. Your fathers have done their bit. Rise up and protect your future. Bring a governor that will bring industrialization. Bring a governor that will bring progress. Bring a governor that will bring development. Not the one that goes on ethnic cleavage. Not the one that goes to bring tribalism. Not the one that gangs up with elders and wants to come through the window. I want to use this opportunity to congratulate our dear President, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, for the endorsement given to him by the National Executive Committee of our party as the sole candidate in 2015 presidential election. I want to thank the people of Nigeria for recognizing that leadership comes from God, and God gives it to whom He pleases. So I stand with my dear President so that he will succeed for my children to have Nigeria tomorrow. I thank Nigeria for supporting Dr. Goodluck Jonathan.
It's good to be back. Akpabio has given for the construction of the Akwa Ibom International Stadium. Speaking with reporters from international, national and indigenous media who had earlier been conducted around the stadium, Governor Akpabio said he was concerned about the problem of involvement of Akwa Ibom indigenes at national and international sports competitions and needed to create an enabling for youths of the state to enhance their skills. Sports editor Justice also reports that an excited Governor Akpabio held the reporters spellbound.
Accompanied by some members of the State Executive Council and frontline persons in the state, Governor Akpabio told reporters that the need to have a unique stadium with facilities only seen in less than 5 top-class stadiums in the world motivated him to build the stadium, making Akwa Ibom a sports. He disclosed that the stadium had already received the certification from the NFF, CAF, and the International Association of Athletics Federations, IAAF, because of the quality of materials utilized in its construction.
Sure that we produced something that was in tune with my administration's belief in uncommon transformation. So we wanted to bring out an uncommon stadium that has never been seen before in West Africa. But seeing it on the ground as it is, it's a little bit intimidating, it's slightly overwhelming.
The governor used the opportunity to enumerate other issues maintained by his administration, such as the golf course, which contract for its maintenance had been given to a repair outfit based in London, the International Management Group, and which course was adjudged the best in Africa by the American Golf Week magazine.
Honor and glory must go to God. This is a state that believes strongly in God. And I know that we couldn't have done this if God was not with us. I donate this to the entire sporting community globally, and particularly to Nigerians who want to prove to all Africans that yes, indeed, they have the facilities to go in the world.
He also spoke on the road network around the stadium and logistics arrangements to complete the stadium and call on youths to make optimum use of the facility.
And then it will also help the youth to develop. Don't expect that we'll have this kind of edifice and then we don't have Akpan and Ikaite playing in Arsenal, in Chelsea, in Man U in the next 5 years. We must take advantage of this facility and go out there. In fact, I expect that the more than $5 billion that are available globally in sports, Akwa Ibom should begin to have a niche. Our children should also, trend towards bringing money because it's a major economic enabler, particularly football.
The Commissioner for Information and Communication, Mr. Anyeka Numana, who spoke of the ICT facilities in the stadium, said arrangements included to host heads of nations for the commissioning on the 7th of this month.
On the opening ceremony, there will be tickets made available to all segments of Akwa Ibom society, clearly labeled with the seat numbers and so on. And by FIFA regulations, what is expected to be in this stadium will be seated in this stadium. The tonsil will open at 12 noon, and everyone will be seated, will be relaxed, enjoying the fanfare and the music and all of the ambience. And of course, the presidents will come in at a certain time, maybe before, somewhere around late afternoon. When they come in, of course, the national anthem comes live, and when it comes live, the stadium goes live, and Nigerians, Africans, the world will be hooked onto this. This event will be on global television.
The wife of the governor, Mrs. Ikaite Unoma Akpabio, and her son took a look at the magnificent structure called the Akwa Ibom International Stadium. Governor Akpabio also thrilled the crowd with a demonstration of his football skills.
From there, I'll just.
Final touches are being put into the preparations for the commissioning of this international stadium here in Uyo, and of course, top government functionaries had the rare opportunity of taking a look at how work is going on. And of course, for journalists who have come from different parts of this country, including DST, who will be through their Super Sports Medium, giving us all the shots of the commissioning, and of course, including the the match that Nigeria will be holding here at this center, it has become a center of activity, and very soon Uyo will become the paradise of sports. Justice Udoso reporting.
A new organization, the Dignified Women International Development Foundation, has been unveiled in the state. It is structured to promote the political, social, and economic rights of women, as well as enhance feminine agenda in the society. Administering the oath of office to the executive members, an Uyo-based legal practitioner, Barrister Inyobong Ekpo, advised them to preserve, protect, and defend the constitution of the organization with transparency and honesty. Barrister Ekpo also advised them against actions capable of stifling the growth of the body, saying they should avoid the mistake of Lot's wife in the Bible. In our inaugural speech, the international president of the Dignified Women National Development Foundation, Mrs. Margaret Diapan, said the group was formed to sensitize, educate, and empower women to be self-centered and enhance economic emancipation. Mrs. Diapan advised members to be loyal and pledge her readiness to carry out in the administration of the organization. The chairman of the occasion, Mr. Ernest Nwaokwa, explained that the dignified women have distinguished themselves from other socio-economic groups and encourage the women to live above board and maintain uniqueness in their endeavor as to render the needed services to other women and members of the society. As a team, International President One Nigeria Initiative, Prince Solomon, described the women as God-chosen people and urged them to cooperate with each other to foster peace and unity in the society.
We have covered our priority. Road was not able to get. We can and we go on our side in order to achieve both.
Have been concluded for the public presentation of the book Who is Who in Akwa Ibom State. The 525-page compendium is produced by the Ministry of Information and Communications in collaboration with Mainstream Limited. According to a statement from the Office of the Commissioner for Information and Communications, Mr. Nyekonomala, the book, which documents stakeholders in the uncommon transformation of the Akwa Ibom administration, is scheduled for public presentation on Tuesday, 4th November 2014 at Governor's Office Annex, Wellington Bassey Way, Uyo, by 11 o'clock in the morning. Governor Godswill Akpabio is expected as a special festival, while Senator Emmanuel Iborosien, proprietor Rickman College, Ikorepane, will be chairman of the occasion. Chief Isaac Agbaka, CEO Azee Marine Nigerian Limited, will be the chief launcher. Accordingly, Deputy Governor Valerie Beh, the Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House Assembly, Elder Samiko, the State Chief Judge, Justice Idomasin Temiswa, and the Chief of Staff, Sir Itekamba Morin, have been specially invited. Other invited guests are the Head of Civil Service, Mrs. Cecilia Odosian, Commissioners and Special Advisors, Permanent Secretaries, and Heads of Extra Ministerial Commissions and Boards. Also invited are chairmen and members of professionals and industrial unions, the academia, local government, the political class, leaders of traditional and religious groups, the organized private sector, and the general public. And now to the news, the top stories again. Peace and orderliness prevailed at the People's Democratic Party World Congress across the state. Governor Godswill Akpabio acknowledged this after voting in his Okana West Ward 2 in a Synodum local government area. Sports journalists and administrators convert Akwa Ibom International Stadium into Jerusalem. This is evidenced by the number of international sports journalists and administrators who have visited the facility. That's it on our news package this morning. Next news bulletin today is at noon. Thanks for watching, and I'm Jeff.